Have we started? Okay. All right.
We are live.
Yes, we are. It's the Tiddy Pow Wow. It's your girl, Bernica Joan. And Quisha Denise. Oh, she meant to say that.
We're supposed to do each other. It's okay.
I'll blow it sometimes. Do we got any people on here yet?
It's okay.
I know. We'll get it together.
Okay, I can tag you though real quick.
Oh, yeah, tag me. Okay.
All right, we're here.
Okay, we're here.
We're here with the Tiddy Pow Wow. It is episode 14th. 40 acres and a million. We're talking about reparations.
Yes, we are. Because we know we are due some reparations, but we really want to talk about like what reparations really looks like for us. A lot of times the word is tossed around a lot. It's like, oh, well, they owe us this, they owe us this. And it's like, what exactly do you feel like Black people who are descendants of slaves in this country deserve or that they're owed? A lot of people have, especially white people, have the attitude that we don't owe them nothing because we didn't do nothing to them. And it's not about the white people now. It's about the way the United States. It's about violating human rights. It's about treating us like animals, raping women, killing our men and children. Like it's a whole lot of things that went on that were not accounted for. That they would now today, if some of those acts were done, it would be a lot of time in prison, or even death penalties for some of the torture and stuff that went on every day.
And that's the thing. It's like us not even ever being considered human or on the same, equal to white people.
Mm-hmm.
And even regardless of how they feel today that they might have not done that to us themselves, it's the way that we're even still looked at and the way that we're even still viewed all these years, 400 years
Absolutely.
later, as less than. So,
Mm-hmm.
There has to be something to where we're even considered equals on the same social level. That's why I feel like reparations is important.
Right.
And the word reparations, the root word is repair. So it's like, what do they need to do to repair the situation between the African Americans and how we've been treated, since the beginning of time.
And how we continue to be treated,
Exactly.
Just we seeing evidence of how we continue to be treated in even the verdict in the Breonna Taylor situation. And I hate to even call it like a Breonna Taylor situation, like it's a
phenomenon.
The murder of Breonna Taylor. It's really what it needs to be called. And so I was so upset about that verdict, the wanton endangerment, because it almost seems like they love to spit on us in the process. So like charging for the bullets that hit the neighbor's house, went into the neighbor's apartment. Is like, you just spitting on us. You like saying basically, I've seen even the memes that, we're only getting charged for the bullets that missed her and almost could have hit the white family, like the white neighbors. So even though she had Black neighbors too, I feel like they should have got, if it was going to be wanton endangerment, they should have got wanton endangerment for every person that lived in the building that was home.
But it's just a slap in the face that her whole life, her whole existence it wasn't even worth anything. Reckless homicide. I mean, anything. I mean, nothing. No charge was to give her justice. If anything,
Right.
It made the situation worse.
Mm-hmm.
It showed how they really view the lives of Black people, especially Black women.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like that we always go through this. Like, it seems like every probably we are traumatized like every 2 months, like on a real level, like some type of police killing or just something happens, like I think after Trayvon Martin, that's when I really was like, they'll let not just the police, but they'll let anybody, get away with killing us.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, even thinking about, me and my friend was riding downtown Saturday, and like I was telling her, all those Antifa people, I don't even know if it was the Antifa people, but a lot of white people, militia people, downtown with their guns. I mean, like, it looked like Call of Duty, modern day. And it's like, how are they okay with them running around with guns? I don't know if they're trying to put into effect citizens arrest or what they're doing if they see something going on, thinking that they can, handle that themselves. But it's crazy because let it been us or when the NFAC, which we didn't really talk about them, but when they were in town, it's like they made a real big deal about them coming in with their guns and they were so threatened, or they had to bring in all of the military and, police force for them. But the white militia, they're able to just run around and do whatever. Or anytime the Ku Klux Klan want to come and set up, it's welcome with open arms. But it also goes back to who we have up in office, that is encouraging this and making them think that it's okay.
Well, we also have to recognize that some Klan members are up in office. Some Klan members are part of the police force. So they protect each other at all costs, which I think that is the fallacy of the way the police department and the whole bureaucracy is set up. That even as a good officer, I can't speak out against this officer without some type of retaliation or some type of whistleblower title or whatever. Like, if you see somebody doing wrong, you should be able to call them out, especially a colleague. You should be able to say, like, it was wrong. But it's almost like they have no ethical standard to adhere to. And I do wonder.
It's like they operate like a gang.
Well, they are a gang.
Yeah.
Because if there's this code of silence amongst them, no matter what you do, you could go sexually assault women while you're on the beat. You can, kick down doors and shoot people. Even I've seen where the SWAT team had said it was an egregious act. Like, they didn't know. They went there probably like, what in the hell happened here? But so many things went wrong. And so now we're seeing what is it? That dude Kendrick Wilson is now calling out. He's calling out the lawyer Sam Aguiar, and I kind of see. I don't. We don't know everything, and because we don't know how the legal system really works on what can be presented or whatever. I do know that Daniel Cameron could have presented like a lot more evidence than what he did, and so. That means that he felt like that the officers was justified. And I think it was a statement that kind of read that he felt like they was justified. And I struggle with him so bad. I struggle with him because we trading him in for who we gonna trade him in for on the white side? We gonna trade him in for Pink.
Pink who?
The singer.
Right. Michael Rappaport. Trade him in for somebody. Michael Rappaport.
Yes, I love him. He takes it all the way good.
All the way.
So yeah, we need to trade him in because he's just I mean, I have no faith in him. I hope that he does not run for nothing else or do anything else. But overall, I hope that he ends up getting in a lot of trouble for, the way he's handled this case. And everybody that's involved, we don't even know who all is involved. That's how layered it is. Because even when that guy, and I'm not sure that he's all the way 100 on everything, the Kendrick Wilson guy, it's kind of hard when things are going on like this because people could say, oh, well, he's just trying to get attention. But they could also say, oh, somebody talking about it on the podcast is trying to get attention, But it's like, no, everybody's affected and everybody's talking about it. And that's just what's going on right now.
Exactly.
But I just feel like with the Kendrick, is it? Did I say yeah, Kendrick? Yeah. Kendrick, maybe the way he's been so radical to some people, they like, oh, he's tripping or he's acting out. But I feel like you should. It's just a time when you should act out. It's just a time when everybody should be acting out.
Especially if it's something that you passionately believe.
Well, and it's
that is injustice.
Black women getting murdered.
Exactly, and being and it's covered up.
Y'all better burn this place down for me. Hey, if it ever, y'all better
go
burn
hard.
It down for me. Burn everything. And then people like, oh, that's inciting violence, but we're experiencing violence. Why is it only violent when
we just got to keep taking it,
responding, And that's how it's always been treated. Like Black people, we're so aggressive. We're this, we're that. They're so scared of us because we might hop out the car, do this and do that. And it's like, no, y'all just gotta get y'all's, kahunas together.
Well, that's part of the reason.
Scary.
But that's even part of the reason of them boarding all of it up and doing all that they did last week. Even the curfews and stuff to try to prevent something to happen or to have control over the situation, because they know because of that bogus verdict that people were going to be upset, people were going to be enraged, and that there was going to be some things going on. So it's just sad that that's what he came up.
Well, I'm looking forward to what's going to come out, because
exactly.
What I'm really banking on is the FBI. That's where I'm like, I hope that all the evidence that wasn't presented, gets presented with them. But if they mess it up, it's time for us to get doing citizenship and get the hell out of here.
Right.
I mean, really, like, how long are we going to fight and do this? Like, I do feel like America does not deserve Black people. I do. I feel like for what we've contributed to this place, they don't deserve us
we need to start singing,
treat us like they do.
What's the Beyonce song? Find your way back.
Right. Find my way back to where?
To Africa. That's what she's talking about.
I know, but we don't even know where we're supposed
don't
to
let
be
this world drive you crazy, honey. Find your way back.
But then it's also like, well, we deserve to be here because our people's built it. So
exactly.
Who cares?
So that goes back to the topic of reparations and what that looks like. We did a little research. Part of that looks like, I guess the first thing would be, and this is kind of a joke, an apology. So it looks like apologies by the president.
Well, it could start with him and trickle down into the governors and the other entities that might have been, involved in slavery, or other businesses that may have been involved in slavery throughout history. But yeah, definitely start with the president. But that's a joke, because we're going to have to wait until we get a new president.
God willing. And then
another Black president. No.
Right. And then what did it say? And those apologies should be negotiated with the African American community leaders, so that it entails everything, that we feel, so that it goes into effect and it benefits, the people involved. Because the whole system has only benefited them first, you know what I'm saying? And then we just kind of fall in line and get whatever. Another thing they said is that we can have like memorials. We see with all the Confederate memorials coming down. With this, I mean, it is like
they started putting up some.
What?
They started putting up a few memorials.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, with them taking down the old ones, the Confederate memorial, like they taking all of those down, and because it's like a smack in the face for everything that we've been through, and that these are the people that you honor, is also the people that killed us, murdered us, owned us, raped us. It's our ancestors, is us, because really when we get into talking about generational curses and trauma, that
is in our blood.
Yeah, exactly. It's trickled from even the way that we discipline our kids, and everything else comes from slavery. So it's not like because it's over with that we still don't feel the effects that has brought down on us.
Yeah, and then so to me, the memorials would definitely be one. Even like right now, we could definitely. They already started putting up some Breonna, Taylor memorabilia around, like painting and stuff. But I'm saying like an actual statue or different things that reflect it's this moment in time, and being on the right side of history. Like, how do you be on the wrong side at a time like this? So even what, I don't know what financial reparations would really look like. I mean, so a lot of people don't really know that once the slaves were freed, that they were promised 40 acres and a mule. I guess people do know that part, but they were promised 40 acres and a mule for each family. Well, so if you had a family up to 4, people could get, 10 acres. Well, they never followed through on that. And instead, what they had written prior to the Emancipation Proclamation was it was a statute to allow the slave owners to get paid. And so they got paid up to $300 per slave that they lost. And we did not get reparations. We did not get our 40 acres and a mule. So now there's 40 acres and a million.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Now you owe us way more than that.
Right.
But they basically gave them up to 300. So at this time, I feel like it was about, and this was in DC. So at the time they did it, about 3,000 slaves is what, close to 3,000 slaves is who was freed and are released, and then up to $300 per slave. So you got to think and that's worth in today's time, that $300 is $8,000 around 8,000. So they gave out, if they would have gave 300 for each slave, they done gave out almost 24 million, to help out the slave owners who had the land. So reparations definitely look like land and home ownership to me. Like there should be programs that help Black people attain home ownership. And I know we have some throughout the country, but I'm talking about like on a real level. This credit score stuff, is ridiculous. Like playing a game. And if you're not a person who, if you live in survival mode, getting to the point of home ownership is very difficult.
Exactly.
So,
and I guess that would be the financial reparations, not necessarily monetary, disbursements, but more or less like, I guess
I'm gonna take the monetary too, though.
Right, I would too. But like even like having an 800 credit score, because that's at the end of the day, people, it's all about social status here, and people already look at you, look at us looking down on us. So it's almost like if we came in, all on the same playing field, then, everybody has a fair chance and a fair shot to kind of get where they need to go. And that's the thing, like you said, people growing up out of survival mode. And a lot of the times, Black people, it's a big accomplishment for you to buy a house or own a home, whereas in the white community, they pass properties down to families. They have lake houses in the families and beach houses. And, it just all stems from their ancestors, that had these
cotton fields that we picked.
No. Exactly. And was able to make these, have these properties to pass down to their families. But, I think that's kind of how it would look. And then education, free education.
Yeah, college should be free. Because because when you're thinking about reparations, talking about repairing, what was broken? What was broken is we weren't allowed to read. We weren't allowed to be in the institutions that they had at that time for people to learn. So we had gotten a lot behind. Even now, when you still going to college and doing things, it's still when you're in school. Because me being in school, very rarely was it a lot of me in the classroom. You know what I'm saying? And maybe because of where I went to school at too. In Kentucky, is a less Black folks around. But I don't know. I feel like with the education piece, that should be free. There's no way I should have these student loans. Pay my student loans back. Yes. I don't want them.
That's the thing. If you didn't have student loans, you wouldn't have to worry about that, less stress, through school. It just would make everything around the board easier.
And but even before, I don't know when they stopped, but they used to bankrupt medical students' student loans. They used to bankrupt them. I need to find out if they can still bankrupt loans now. But anyway, it would be free healthcare, because what has been impacted our health. We have a lot more health issues than other people have, and that has a lot to do with mental stuff that goes on with us too, that manifests in the physical. So the depression, anxiety, all those things that, end up bothering us, and we end up having a lot of issues. So I definitely think healthcare is a huge one,
with therapy falling underneath that.
Oh yeah, definitely therapy. I mean, mentally we still recovering mentally. That's what people don't understand. We're in a constant state of recovery. We stay having to recover. College should be debt free. IUDs and other contraceptives should be free. I would take cash as king. They would give us a 750 credit score and still double our interest rate. I'm saying.
For real though. Yeah. Give me cash.
Yeah. But yeah, so the healthcare, I feel like we have to get a handle on our health. A lot of the ways that we ate and stuff that we eat to this day come from slavery. That's exactly. Giving scraps and eating pork and like all this stuff is from slavery. We were
given the scraps and given the what was left over, and people just got accustomed to eating that, and their taste buds got accustomed to it, and just if it was normal, that's what it should be. But
But the reparations, I feel like until this country actually admits Because that's another problem. They don't admit.
That's why there has to be a public apology, because they try to sweep it under the rug and act like, like racism doesn't still exist when it's right here in our face. And that's why it's so important, even with this Breonna Taylor thing, for everything to come out and people start, revealing and speaking up about it. Because it's just showing that racism is very much still existing here, and especially in Kentucky.
Oh man, it's Kentucky. And honestly, sometimes I want to live up north. I want to live somewhere else. I don't want to live where it's cold though. But there is a part of me that just wishes I could live in like a community of just, successful Black people. It's not that I don't want to be around white people. It's just that, I want to be in a community where I feel like people care about me, period.
Like, care about my life and the life of my children.
Get hurt right here, and my neighbors is just gonna watch and be like, "Oh well, she should have did this or she should have did that." Like, I'm good on that. I don't know my neighbors now. I don't, because I don't know them to trust them. I don't trust them to know them. Same thing.
Y'all right, but I can't leave the bacon alone. Me either. I can't do turkey bacon, vegan bacon, none of that.
Bacon is probably the hardest thing to give up, because nothing tastes like it.
No.
The turkey bacon does not taste like. I do like a thicker turkey bacon, the uncured turkey bacon. But anyway, it don't taste like real bacon. But we got to start changing the way we eat, though.
We really do. Because all of that adds to stress, anxiety, being tired, other factors. Yeah. Just mental, issues, because when you eat crap, you feel like crap. So yeah. So
thanks,
Shay. You got some good comments coming through, boo. I love your interaction with us.
I know. Yeah. What did she say? Okay.
No, I was just saying so we can bring them on camera.
But a lot of people are just like, what do we owe reparations for? And we started off talking about that a little bit in the beginning, but I see that some people weren't on here. But the rapes, the beatings, the mental anguish, the continued mental anguish that, you can be in this country and still feel like feel nationless, like you feel like you don't have any type of like leader or anybody really fighting for you.
Well, it's like as soon as all of the verdict comes out with Breonna Taylor, then Trump wants to come and say that, he wants to promote him to Supreme Court. And I'm like it's an incentive for him.
It's another spit. It's another spitting on us again. Exactly. Just like they spit on us, charging them for the bullets that didn't hit her.
Yeah.
That's
he's rewarding his puppet. Him and Mitch McConnell's puppet. I'm going to reward you for not giving justice or just continuing to play a part in my racist tirade.
For selling out.
That's it.
That's it. I would hate to be him right now.
I would hate to be his mother.
He's probably the most hated Black man in America right now. Like, I'm sure that everybody hates him. Because it's just only people that probably like him is white people right now. And the few. So another thing. Oh my God, the conservative Black Christians. I love y'all, but this ain't the fight to be going to the other side or seeing some ill stuff trying to, this is how I'm looking at it. No, you're looking at it with whitewashed eyes. You're looking at it with an American, just a patriotic thing. You're not looking at, like, because I think if you shoot a police officer, now they saying the ballistics don't even match the gun that shot the police. So it's just so many lies and so much corruption. But yeah, back to the Black Christian conservatives. Figure out what y'all doing. I mean, for real.
Hopefully, I'm not
figure out what y'all are doing. I'm getting to the point where I want to love y'all so much, but I'm annoyed because y'all are a distraction. Yeah. And y'all are
and they don't care about y'all either. Y'all thinking this is gonna make y'all look good. They don't care about y'all.
They don't give they will kill you too.
Exactly. Or your son.
Anyway, I just had to put that out there. And probably because I grew up in the Black church and I've been seeing people I grew up with just posting stuff, and it's just like, don't don't be so holy that you're no earthly good.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's like you have to check yourself. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's a check 1-2 definitely has to happen. We do not trust our leadership. I totally agree. It's hard. How do you trust people who can be bought?
Mm-hmm.
I am following and watching and paying attention to Sadiqa Reynolds in this. I feel like she's like the most genuine person I've seen in this fight, and still ironically being able to be respectful, like while she's upset. Because I'm not. Clearly, y'all, the people who follow me on Facebook know that I don't manage well when I get very upset and emotional about us being murdered and hurt just because we Black and nobody taking our justice seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Says everyone is looking at the election like a marriage. We need to look at it as stepping stones for the next best candidates. Well, absolutely. But also we need to start voting more on the state level, because the state level is what drives the other stuff. And we have to start picking our leaders within our communities so that when we're getting to the bigger fish, you know what I mean? Like it's trickling up and it's getting better and better. Not that, we don't have good leaders to even put in those higher positions. I do pay attention to Charles Booker's page, and I feel like he has definitely maintained some solidarity with everything too. So there seems to be definitely some fighters around. It's just how much they will be able to do is kind of discouraging when you watch them, basically let them walk off of killing her. It is bigger than the presidential. I think.
Well, and me having learning about the court system and dealing with judges and stuff, definitely those are the ones that make the laws and that also sign the no-knock warrants, is the judges that's put into power. And that's why I say, even with this whole situation, as far as charging the police officers, there are other people that should be charged as well that are higher up, like the judge that signed off on the no-knock warrant, or whoever else that, gave the go okay for that to, happen that night, go into her apartment with everything just so messy. And like you said, it was what did they say it was?
Egregious act.
It was.
It's egregious, and we have to decide what is your stake in the fight, for justice, because I feel like it's too many Black people who are also oblivious to what's going on. It's like they just living their lives. They don't care really about what's going on. Maybe because they in survival mode. I don't know, but when I talk to people and they don't even bring it up or don't even, it's like, how is this not affecting you? Maybe because I'm affected so deeply by it, I don't really understand it. So, what was she saying? Definitely too. She said definitely.
When we're talking about, I think about the candidates who we put it to.
Oh yeah. So it's just, it's heavy. It's heavy what needs to happen, and the reparations for us, they need to come sooner than later. This will be a good time for them to put reparation on the table. And I do feel like there have been maybe cities or states that have started talking about reparations, but it needs to be nationally. There needs to be national things, and they need to allow us to run our own community programs or whatever. What I mean? I don't think that they need to bring in outsiders, whether they be white or Black, but just people out of the community into the community. And
even if we did, come up with these things on the state level, Trump's not going to go for that on the national level. He feels like we have bigger fish to fry, and that's not going to put as a priority, unfortunately, reparations. Like you said, he don't even want to give us stimulus.
Right. When is the second stimulus coming? Look, and I feel like they hand out suppression too. I still want the stimulus though. But I feel like us thinking, because some people, they consider like welfare and stuff reparations. But if you have to, I had called about an apartment, and they said that you had to meet the income guideline of like if you made over 45,000, you couldn't live there. I'm like 45,000. I got 3 kids. Like, why would I want to live somewhere that says I can't make over $45,000? That's poverty after you pay rent that's over $1,000 and pay for your kids a daycare or wherever. Like, it's poverty. Mm-hmm. So it's like people don't understand that if you live here but you can't make this much money, you can't do anything that limits you on actually growing and levitating and becoming more than what you are, then it's a setup for failure. And people get caught up in that. And that's how you end up with generations of people in the projects are in low income housing. You know, the daughter grows up, she gets her apartment there when she turned 18. The whole family lives there. She said definitely to the state level. Okay. It's just another way to keep us suppressed. Yes. Oppressed and really keep us slaves in a sense, because now if I can't make over this much money, then what am I doing? I'm doing the lower level jobs that only pay me $10 or $11 an hour, so that I don't, go over this. So I'm only working this much hours a week. Like I used to tell people, why would you sit around and wait on a check every month for $400 when you can make $400 in a week? I've never been a fan of it. I don't understand that. But then it's like sometimes when people pay all their bills, all they got is $400 left.
Hey, and I guess they figure they're gonna get free healthcare, food stamps, other things too.
So you can't build generational wealth off of that.
But it's also about the mentality. That's where therapy comes back into place, because when you have kicked people down or held people down for so long, they may not feel like they can attain or reach those things because they've never seen it happen in their family. They've never seen nobody around them, like you say, be a homeowner, this and that. So the projects is home. That's what they know.
And being from the projects, Iroquois projects, I really felt at home. I've never felt safer, and it's so weird because when I look back and I was just talking to somebody that used to be in the projects, and I was like, man, it was so much going on out there, like crime wise, but I felt safer. I still feel safer in the projects than I do in the neighborhood I live in now, and I don't even live in a bad neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I live in a historically Black neighborhood, but it's mixed now. But I don't, even this not knowing my neighbors, I feel like in the projects, everybody knew everybody. Everybody knew who, you knew such and such in building such and such. You knew you can walk past her and you're going to be okay because such and such lives over there. It was more of a community.
We was just talking about that earlier, though, me and this girl, about because we were talking about the 40 acres, and I'm like, you could set up your own little community. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of where that is, but I was reading an article where some Black people came together and put their money together and bought some land and was going to start their own little community. And it sounds, if you got people that can perform all of the necessary jobs that you need, to have a community, whether it be a farmer's market and, a dentist, a Black dentist, and to have that on land or in a small community, that would just keep all the money flowing within each other, buying Black and supporting Black. And also, especially with Black doctors, like, Black women are dying at a higher rate than any race, giving birth. So if we had that, like the Black doctors that we could trust, in our community, then people would definitely feel more safe and secure.
But we do have Black practitioners. We do. You have like, I don't know if she's a doctor or not, but there's, what's her name? Jarvis. I think she might be a nurse practitioner or a doctor. You got Ashley Miller. You got Christy Elliott Cox and associates. There are some Black like healthcare providers around. It's just us, being, and that's the thing. So, being educated on who's available to you, So, we don't always know. And then back on the reparations thing, what I forgot to mention was when you were talking about the land. You said something that made me think about them. They were supposed to give us land that was confiscated from the Confederates. They lost the war. Hey, Confederates, y'all lost. You know what I'm saying? Y'all lost the war. It was an L. Like the fact that they still have monuments up, like they won something. You lost. Like And then they say you need to get over slavery. Well, why y'all keep riding around with Confederate flags when y'all lost? That is crazy to me. Mm-hmm. That's mental illness. Mm-hmm. Come get my card. But it's just so much to it. So they were supposed to give us that land back, or give us the land, and then once Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, they decided that they was not going to follow through on what they were going to do as far as 40 acres and a mule. And so they gave that land back to the Confederates. Mm-hmm. And then we just out here. Imagine getting out of slavery. You free. Everybody, all you want all your life is your freedom. And then you get out here just like a teenager. You get out here and you ain't got nowhere to live. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go back. And what you got to go back and beg the person who enslaved you. You have to beg them to give you back. I mean,
give you back a employment job so that you can take care of yourself.
Maybe $10 an hour. You know what I mean? Like, it was that silly. And you're back in captivity again. You have nothing. So now people, they talk about us like, oh, they don't want nothing. They this. Y'all don't know we come from. We come from nothing. We've gotten to this point with no starting point. Like we out here with nothing. So the way that they even ended slavery with nothing set up for people to succeed or to really live, because it was not meant. And then they was actually paying people to to leave the country. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it might have been like $100 for immigration or something. But
they can pay me to leave the country. Give me $100.
What she say? Doing our research. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's saying like doing our research is going to be better. You know, it's good for
us.
On
everything. And that's the thing. We're not educated about a lot of stuff the way this system works. We're in this system, but we are not educated about the way this system works. And that's why sometimes we get up in arms and other people are like, oh, well, you don't understand this because this is consistent with how the law works. Well, we looking at morality. We looking at real shit. Exactly. The law, we have a civil duty. What is it? Martin Luther King. You have a civil duty to disobey unjust laws.
And that's it. Like slavery used to be legal. So just because it's legal doesn't mean that it's fair and just. So at this point, that's what we do. It's just, we're not even fighting we don't even want revenge. You know what I'm saying? We want equality.
And they should be lucky that we this nice. That's what makes me not understand. Like, we're still a very kind people overall, considering how disrespected and how abused we've been in this country. And then the continual mental abuse with the tragedies happen, there being no justice. You're teaching young Black kids and making adults feel like we are not safe. That's why the anxiety there. That's why the depression is there. That's why the oppression is there, because we feel powerless.
Yeah. And then, like I say, even boarding up the buildings is showing that you all care more about buildings than actual human life. So that's where all the rage comes from, and the looting, and people getting upset and wanting to burn things down. And I can't say that I don't understand.
Right. And it's just a lot of audacity to, we talk about the audacity, but even Daniel Cameron and that whole decision, like it's a lot of audacity for the world to watch everything that's happened. And then that be the only charges that was brought. Even with George Floyd, us watching him just die on camera, and you would have people still making excuses for why he might have died or what he might have said or did, why he was under the cop. Like, I'm just like, it's one of those situations where it's like, you're gonna believe that, you're gonna believe what I say, or you're gonna believe your lying ass eyes. No, my eyes saw what they saw.
Yeah, Exactly. And they're like, oh, well, he died from an overdose. Like, I don't care if he was under the influence of drugs when it happened. It
has nothing to do with the way that officer behaved.
Mm-hmm. And he wouldn't have died. It wouldn't have gotten to that level, you know, regardless of whatever it was. Even if he had that in his system, that wasn't the cause of his death, was an overdose, you know. It's just, you know, another way for them to tear us down after our demise. It's so sad.
Yeah, it's getting spit on. Mm-hmm. And it's like, how much more do you think that people are going to take? And I'm very proud, even though there is a part of me that feels like there's just been a lot of pacification going on, in that they're pacifying us with Breonna's law. They're pacifying us with certain things, but they're not doing what, you know, how do y'all go out of y'all way to do all of this, but can't lock up 4 officers? You should have made a sacrifice right there, just because for the betterment of everything. You know that they were wrong in how they handled their situation.
It's like I said earlier, it's almost like gaslighting. Like it's very narcissistic in the fact that y'all not even acknowledging, not even admitting, you know what I'm saying, what is going on, admitting the wrong. It's like even the apologies with the reparations, the apologies would have to be an admittance that something was wrong, that there was, you know, oppression, that there is oppression, but they're not even going to admit that because it makes them look guilty, and then they feel like they don't owe you anything if they don't take any.
Also, it's white guilt too. Yeah. Like white people, it's almost like they, instead of saying, you know what, this did happen. This is, and I don't want to say all white people, because I got some people in my life that are white that I absolutely love and respect. But there are those white people, you know what I'm saying? It's different from them, that, you know, the ones I love and respect, they different from these other ones. And that's, you know, the same way a person might feel with, you know, different people in different races, but they are believe almost like we deserve, you know, whatever comes to us.
Yeah, or they feel that they are superior. Those are the ones that Charlemagne the God calls crack-ass crackers. When you really feel like because you were born white or born into, you know, this ethnicity, that you are superior to us. And I don't care who you are. If you think you're superior to me, you a crack-ass cracker and your mammy. And that's what it is. I don't care.
Well, I feel like nobody's superior. Like I don't feel like I'm above anybody, but nobody's above me either. No. And that's why I walk into every room like, I own this. I may not own nothing in there, but it's mine while I occupy it. So, but we would like some of your thoughts, you know, about what y'all might think reparations are, you know, what reparations would look like. Like we said, apologies, you know, memorials, financial dispersions, definitely, but not really. We don't know how that would look. And then also, I just said, tell them again.
I will.
Oh, shoot. And she was like, look, I said it. She was like, you done got me thrown off. Apologies, memorials, financial reparations, education, healthcare. It needs to be a whole system overhaul, a justice system overhaul, like undo these laws that are discriminatory against us, you know, close the educational gaps, the disparities between us and our white counterparts as far as opportunity.
Exactly.
So,
because that's the thing, like in so many jobs, you just equal the playing field all around. You know,
they'll never be equal.
It's not. Well, it's like you could tell. It's almost like they even in certain. It's funny. Even some people, I have you know, people on my page, different people I follow and stuff, and it's funny how it's almost like you can see, you know, certain people when they post their corporate jobs or whatever, like that you're the minority, you're the token black person. You know what I'm saying? Because they only have to have a couple of us. You know what I'm saying? A couple of us, or an Asian, you know, Asian person, or, you know, Hispanic person. But really, it's only done just to meet that mark or meet that quote. It's not that you really feel like we need the black community or need, you know, this person, or this person has enough value to come to our company and, you know, contribute, and we really want them there. It's almost like, okay, yeah, we got this one, we got that. Okay, we're good on that.
But something that I seen, who was it that they said something about, like, there are white people that they don't believe like that black people can lead white people. You know what I'm saying? Like that dynamic, and of course, it happens all the time. You got people in high positions and select, you know, things. I felt like was the president of Sam's and Walmart and all that. She's a black woman, I think.
Lowe's is too, but President Obama. And then to think about it,
see who they elevate though, right? The black woman.
Right.
They still have not started to really promote black men to the extent they should, unless they are Daniel Cameron. Mm-hmm. First of all, from now on, a Daniel Cameron. We done with Uncle Tom. We got a new one. He's a DC. Mm-hmm. He's a Daniel Cameron.
That can be another acronym too. Yeah. Use your mind.
Oh God. But anyway, it's just so much. We thank y'all for like tuning in with us today, just to have this conversation. We definitely want to see some change.
Change is gonna come.
Yeah. It's just when they gonna come is the question, because we got her rah and stuff.
Yeah, but we ain't gotta worry about how you just can't really worry about the change that they make. We just gotta change ourselves and just level up to our highest self. So we can make our own way.
Yeah.
Instead of asking for one.
That's what they say. They ask, don't be the token black. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You can go and start your own whatever.
That's the goal.
Start your own and have whoever we working for you that you want working for you. Mm-hmm. Where you respected and valued. I actually work at a counseling agency in Indiana, and it's predominantly white. And I feel like there's been no outside of a few colleagues who know me personally, like there's been no conversation or nothing about none of this is going on. And that the black people that work for you are affected. Mm-hmm. And you're not saying anything. And I guess I was surprised because counseling agency, I'm like, I would thought they would have said something if nobody did. But there's been no statement, nothing. And to me, silence is violence. Yes. If you're not speaking out, if you don't say anything, like you just know, it feels like you complicit. It feels like you don't support black people in this fight. And it's hard. It's hard not to build up resentment because it's just be like, you see these people that you've been knowing for all these years and you just like, who are y'all really? What do y'all really think? What do y'all really believe? Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, you have to realize people don't say nothing. Because they don't know what to say, but then also it's like, why even bring opposition?
Sure, Henry.
Bring opposition to a government that helps keep them in power, or helps keep them in higher positions.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's all. We wanted to talk about that today. We want to continue to have these type of discussions. If there's any thoughts that you might have, y'all can definitely email us at the tiddypowwow@gmail.com. THETIDDYWOWPOW.
No, POWWOW. You said wow.
What I say?
Wow, pow.
Powwow. Y'all knew what I meant.
He said, hi, Henry. Hi. Actually, you all have just touched on what's one of my the most, independence. I think of all the issues you all have touched on won't go away till wealth equality is fixed. While it exists, people don't have power. That's right. Yes.
You're absolutely correct, Henry. Because that's the biggest, the generational wealth. That's where the gap is so, we're hundreds of years behind.
But I also think too, with entrepreneurship, especially in the black community, then we can, and that's one thing I love with the pandemic is that people are like buying black and supporting black. So as long as we keep, buy black, support black, we're uplifting the black community and just adding more wealth into our communities and helping to put people in positions, like I say, those small businesses, people appreciate your money's being spent with them more than going to a corporation, to spend money. So that's kind of how we can start on our own. It's just, supporting each other, spending with each other, and that'll help, boost people economically and
it's
socially.
Important that people understand that even us doing that, it's not about a black or white thing. Because there's certain things, I'm a buy black, but if I know white people who are good at what they do, and I have a relationship, like I got a Facebook friend that's an awesome photographer. She's white. I love her pictures. I feel like she's one of the best I've seen. So I'm going to pick the best when it comes to certain things. But at the end of the day, we have to generate money back into our communities. And so it's not about white. It's that white people, y'all got people to come to y'all's business. So it's millions of white people. So there's only 13% black people in America, so we need to pour into each other.
Exactly, because it's just going to help on so many levels if we pour into our people.
Because we're the biggest spenders.
Exactly, that's so true. Yeah, and it's just going to help too. It helps a mother be able to maybe send her child to piano lessons or to dance lessons that she may not have been able to do if she didn't have that extra income, that support. So that's what it boils down to. Support everybody. Just
hang in there. It's gonna work. We gonna figure it out at some point. Something got to give. Because
I think everybody's doing better, or even this quarantine and all this going on has opened people's eyes to be more aware when everybody's just kind of been on the go, surviving, making things happen. We kind of had a time to just sit down and open our eyes and see.
And
things.
You see, you can work in different ways. That we've been exhausting ourselves for no reason.
Exactly. And so many people have gone into entrepreneurship because you sit and you have these ideas that you haven't been able to manifest or make happen. And now, is the time to do it, and people are doing it, and that's just going to help us to be able to advance and put ourselves in a better position moving forward.
Black owned and black ran banks, and there are black banks now. We just have to take our money out and put them there. But we're gonna wrap up because I gotta go get my kids.
But thank y'all for joining in with us.
Thank y'all for joining in with us. It's been real.
All the input, we appreciate it. If y'all can. Just share this, and see us next week, and we'll come back with another hot topic for you.
On a Tiddy Tuesday for the Tiddy Pow Wow. It's going down on the Tiddy Pow Wow.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.